can see us yet. Give me a second. We'll count down. If there is a way to count down, like 3, 2, 1, something. I think we are about through with the signal. And let me just see. We go. We good? We good? We are live. All right. So, wait, are we? Is it the correct? It is the correct thumbnail. It's the new thumbnail. All right. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Toxic Happy Hour, the show where we are toxic towards scams that delay the adoption of global sound money. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And today we have BitcoinMeister, a longtime content producer in the space, one of the earliest. And Poppy really wanted to get you back on the channel because you were there helping him to increase his 25% stack of Bitcoin to 100% and understanding that Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Poppy, my dear co-host, good to see you. BitcoinMeister, welcome to the show. I'm guessing you're drinking water, but why don't you give us an update?
Yes, it is water. Pound that like button like the shirt says. And I want to tell everyone, I've got another shirt under here that has another message. So I'm going to do a wardrobe change like at the end of the show. Remind me to do that. And then I'll keep all you guys watching to see what's this other shirt he's got on. What's the message that's on this other shirt? I've never had it. It's a shirt I was given. Anyway, you'll see. It's fun. You guys might recognize it also. But remind me by the end of the show, do the wardrobe change. But it's a pleasure to be here, baby.
Poppy, when BitcoinMeister start talking about taking off shirts, I think we should go full 2021 podcasting, which is people are doing this topless, man.
Yeah, shirtless, right? I don't
shirtless.
think
all right.
Yeah.
Which for us is topless.
You know, we've had a break from doing our YouTube show, and what a way to get back into it. One of the guys that just totally influenced me early in the space, the guy that has, look behind us, man. We have no fancy sensor graphics either, baby. We have nothing here. We are just about talking Bitcoin. I got a broken closet.
We got the logo, man. We got a logo. That's pretty. We got a logo.
Rad. No, Adam was there, man. From when I bought, like you say, I bought the top in December 2017. He's the one that made me realize that all those other 3 coins on Coinbase were worthless. He got me out of it. He got me into Bitcoin and kept a strong hand ever since, baby.
It's great to hear. It's great to hear stories like that. And I do remember you specifically telling me as we got to know each other a little bit better over DMs that you bought at the quote unquote top when it was, 19,600 or whatever it may have been. And now it's a joke. Whatever it was, it's totally on sale. But so many, and there were quite a few people that bought those few days in December. 4 years. It was 4 years ago when it was around 19,600, and so many of those people gave up. They bought at 19,000, 18,000, 17,000, and they felt foolish because it was 12,000, 10,000, 9,000, and they sold at a loss. And man, do they look horrible now. They thought they were foolish because they thought they paid too much. What they ended up being foolish for was just selling for way too cheap and losing money. Oh my God. When you bought it, if you bought it 19,600, you should not have lost money. You should be in your position right now where you over doubled your money. So it's with perspective, comes wisdom here, people. Just long-term thinking. So it's been a great 4 years since that legendary previous all-time high, and I'm excited about this next 4 years, baby. Bring on 2025. Bring it all on.
Yeah, I just want to add in also on my nostalgic trip with Adam. I remember in 2017, you kept saying 2020 halving in all your shows, and it was like this magical thing in the future, 2020 halving. And here we are. We had the 2020 halving, and 1.5 years later, price is pretty much flat though. But hey, we had the halving. It's gonna spill over in the prices. Adam, I don't know if you can turn your camera up because I can't remove the logo. We're boomers here, so we can see you without the logo going on top of you. That is beautiful. All right. We can see your hair now. and the logo and everything, and it's toxic and it's green, and we don't accept shit coins. Here we are. True story. Just bring in the truth and the love for people not to waste their money on stupid shit coins. So, by the way, Adam was the guy that brought me and Puppy together. Puppy, why don't you tell the story? It's Adam. Actually, we can thank Adam from Puppy and I becoming friends, dear friends.
Yeah, best of friends, man. Yeah, so yeah, there we were. Always listen to Adam's shows, and on Fridays he would usually have 3 guests on. And yeah, I'm just listening to the podcast, and sure enough, Anders is on there as one of the guests. And I found myself everything you were saying, man. I was nodding along to. Like, yeah, this guy, he's got it, man. He is in the same mindset I am regarding this. And this is what's great about the community, man. The way it gets paid back. I just sent you a DM, say, hey, man, I liked your show today. You said, yeah, man, if you want to talk Bitcoin, let me know. And of course, most people don't have in real life Bitcoin friends. So yeah, we just started talking every day on the phone, man. I had someone finally, you get that outlet where you get feedback, ask questions. So we were talking like an hour or 2 a day, man, just talking Bitcoin, all because of Adam's show, man.
Absolutely. Look, I had this, and Adam, I'll get it back to you. But we are reminiscent about the story that you helped create. So my DM has been open for many, many years. And I think the best DM I got, because 99.9% of them are, hello, how's your trading going? Hello, can I ask you a question? Oh, I see. Do you like cryptocurrencies? Well, obviously you haven't read my feed. And in comes an actual DM from someone who cared. And that was Puppy saying, hey, like, I like your opinions on Adam's show. And my first response, I think if we go back, those 3-4 years, Puppy, in our DMs, it'll be like, what's your phone number? Because here's someone I can talk Bitcoin with, because we all miss that. So we just started talking Bitcoin once or twice a week, if not more, like for hours, which was also the foundation of Toxic Happy Hour, because I told Puppy I did streams back in 2017. I had you on back then as well, Adam. You came and you did a presentation at my meetup. And I told Puppy, I want to kick it off again. But instead of doing these long presentations like that I prepare, why don't we just take our conversations and put them online? So thank you, Adam, for the influence you had on bringing Puppy from 75% to 0% shitcoins, and also bringing us together. We appreciate you, man.
Well, I love connecting people who are in motion, and I'm glad that you guys, other people have met because of me and stuff, and become friends. And there's a web of Meister connections out there. But let's keep on connecting and what's networking. Network is the word that I'm looking for here. And people are quite friendly in this space. Don't be shy. Send your DMs. Well, if you're one of those scammy companies that tries to say, hey, use my program. No, don't DM me, please. But they, of course, those are the ones that send them. I mean, it's the same format, letters. It's horrifying. It's some dude from China that's using some broken English, or Russia, or wherever it is. I will pay you to mention my altcoin or this, that.
Well, we haven't got to that level yet. I don't know if they can handle the 11 viewers we have. But hey, I do have a lot of cute Asian girls in my DMs right now asking me my thoughts on cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
You never know how much of a real man they are. Okay, whatever.
So cat toy.
No. Yeah. I mean, seriously, the guy who sold me my car, he's telling me I wore my Bitcoin shirt. You never know when you can strike up a conversation, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I know." He's like, "Which one's the next hot one?" I'm like, "Just Bitcoin, man, just Bitcoin." He's like, "Crypto.com is going to own the Lakers arena." I'm like, "Well," he's like, "I should get the Crypto.com coin." I was like, "No, they're sponsoring. They don't. Oh, they're not building it or owning it or whatever." But then he's like, "Here, I'm a trader. I have a background in stock trading." And he did understand that Bitcoin was the main one. So I thought, okay, this is good. He owns some Bitcoin. He didn't exactly understand what controlling your own private key was, but he's like, "Yo, I got to show you this TikTok. This TikTok. You got to tell me what you think about it." So he shows me this TikTok, and there's like some hot woman on it talking about a trading program. And right away, I'm like, it's a scam. It's a scam. He's like, no, listen to it or whatever. And it's just like a hot woman saying, give me $1,700 and I will double it or something insane. And he did it. He told me he had done it. I'm like, he's like, was I scammed? I'm like, yes, you were scammed. And I just can't believe that this is a professional. He works in a car dealership. He fell for you should not be getting any of your cryptocurrency information on TikTok, for God's sakes. That should just be a basic. But I mean, it just, to me, it's so obvious. Hot woman, TikTok, doubling your money. Come on, you got to run away. But some guys, they value their wealth in women and everything. And it works. I mean, she knows the formula. And she probably isn't the mastermind behind it either. There's probably some other dude that just hired her out and pays her to do it or whatever. But it's just, and now but they were still leading him on because he still wanted his $1,700 back. And she was like, well, if you give us your proper identification with a $200 fee, and I'm like, dude, just cut your losses, man. This is it. But it really works. Unfortunately, we got to. Greed can take people a long way. If it seems too easy, it is too easy. No one is there's no such thing as a magical trading program where you give some hot woman $1,700 and she gives you, the $5,000 a few weeks later or whatever. It's a complete lie, but they fall for it. But it was another positive out of the experience is like, now my car salesman, back in the day, if I would have worn a Bitcoin shirt, they would have known what I was talking about. But we struck up all sorts of conversations about cryptocurrency. So it's good. It's growing among the normies. Unfortunately, the normies are prone to make mistakes like that. But you gotta be straight up. You gotta be straight up with them. I didn't try to like sugarcoat. I'm like, you were scammed. You were scammed. End it. Just end it. Cut your losses right now, dude.
Yeah. And I love how the cherry on top is that when he wants to get his $1,500 back, it's like, send us your prop ID and a $200 fee, and then we'll send your money back. Like as if he would ever see the 200. They're just going for a little 200 extra. Yeah, as Sasa saying, TikTok financial advice. Yeah, if you're going to TikTok for financial advice, you're not going to make it.
That's the thing. The guy was probably like most men his age was going to TikTok to look at hot women. So hot women turned into financial advice. So it's a good trick on their part. It's a good trick on there.
Adam, when has hot women ever not cost you money, like a lot of money? Poppy, you tell me. Are there hot women ever that's not going to cost you a lot of money?
they always, or the other? Yeah, women will always cost you one way or the other, man.
Yeah. I mean, again, I've had some hot women, and I was very cheap with them, but still, it cost me money. It cost me time. It cost me all sorts of stuff. So you're going to pay one way or the other. You just got to be careful about it, and don't get scammed. Not all women are trying to scam you. But on the internet, they are, of course.
BTC Pins, big shout out to BTC Pins, who happens to be watching. He gifted. I went to hanging out with Bitcoin is the best thing, right? That's already been part of our story here, the three of us. And BTC Pins, who's on the screen right now, I totally agree. Of course, not all women are hookers, dude. But if you meet a very attractive woman, you're taking her out for dinner, you're buying her flowers. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm just saying it's going to cost you a lot of money. But BTC Pins, big shout out. I went to the Bitcoiner Christmas party arranged by Brian Harrington, which you probably know as well, Adam, down in Orange County. And it was a great evening meeting so many fellow Bitcoiners. Pierre Rochard, so many guys, girls, Hasale, and he out of nowhere, he was so nice. He gave me this bad boy. It's actually, can you see the honey badger? It's called the honey badger, this knife. And there you go. Huh? So thank you, BTC Pins. Go check out his profile, and he's selling good stuff as well. This is
make that orange.
An infomercial. It's orange, baby.
It is.
I want to say this guy. There's someone in the chat that said Meister is white knighting Bry Fit, and that's Brianna. And I want to point something out. I do not white knight anyone. I tell this when I interview her. I straight up tell you the truth that she is hot and she is succeeding because she is hot. And all you guys out there just drool over a 22-year-old girl like her, and that's what she's doing. I'm straight up telling you what she is doing, and you're still falling for it. That's not white knighting. I know she's probably got a boyfriend who is laughing his toothless off at all you guys that are just that retweet her, make her, and I mean, the truth can't be denied. She is hot. She has found her place in the space, but I don't want her. I understand that this is a girl I will never sleep with. I will never give her a penny. Her friend, Craig Shipp, is a friend of mine. Now, Craig's got his own thing. He likes to hang out with hot young girls. I don't know what his whole I like Craig is a great guy. But he's just, retweeter and stuff. I do it for Craig. I spread the word. And the other thing, she is a Bitcoin person. There's no doubt about it. But to say that I'm white knighting for her, I'm telling you the straight up truth, man. She's using what she's got to lure all these dudes in to get attention, to build her brand, etc. She's not a bad person. She's a good person. She's a nice person. I'm not trying to sleep with her, though. I know so much better than to do something like that. What a waste of my time it would be to try to sleep with the hot girl on the internet that I'm never going to meet in person anyway. So I just break it down for everyone like that and explain what she's all about. And she does little dances. She's got like nice tuchlis and everything, the hula hoops. But I'm not getting her, and you're not either. But you guys are gonna. She asked for money, and you guys are gonna give her money and everything. And when I say you guys, I don't mean these two guys, but I just mean the general crowd out there. And it's the same thing. I can tell people the truth about these altcoins and stuff, and how bad they are. Various ones, and just because I said the name, people are like, "You're promoting it," and I think I'm going to buy it because you obviously like it more because you mentioned it or something. It's just insanity. People try to justify everything.
I'm just there for the dope rhymes because all I remember is Sailor is a bull. I mean, you're right. Look, man, that's her shtick. That's fine, guys. If guys want to thirst over that, enjoy. She's bringing her own take to it. Craig Shipp, we run a lot of the Spaces chats too. Adam, he's been in there. Great dude, man. Great content he provides as well, and stuff. So, look, man. At the end of the day, do your thing. Like you say, hey, what is it? Personal responsibility is a new counterculture. It's a
new counterculture, baby.
Yeah, man.
Dude, and again, Craig Shipp is awesome. CraigShipp.com. He's got dedication. I mean, like. He's been following me for a long time. He's like, he always repeats this. Adam said to buy 21 Bitcoin, and he was right. And I mean, Craig did it. Craig's done very well for himself. Very well.
Oh, I got to jump in on that one, Adam, because I remember the video you did. I know you were reposting. This is well after when I had come in, but you were doing a video in which people asked, like, okay, I'm getting in now. How many do I need to be set? And you did one when it was 10 Bitcoin. And I think it was only, was it like $5,000 to do that? Or
so they were 500 each, something like that.
Yeah, and you were saying, just look, a $5,000 investment, and you're there. How would you update that today, man, for someone coming in?
Oh, I mean, that over time has just become, people have to think for themselves. Like, they need to figure out what's going to be worth. Well, how much Bitcoin do I need to be worth $1 million? And when do I want to be worth $1 million by? I kind of changed that to, because $1 million isn't what it used to be. How much Bitcoin do I need to be worth $2 million is what I've changed it to. And how long do I need to how long will that take? And that's up to, people have to use their heads. They have to incorporate the knowledge and listen to people, smart people out there, and decide. For me, at one point, I was just like, it's going to be worth $3,000 a piece. I said, how many Bitcoin do I need for it to be worth if they're going to be worth 3,000 one day, how many do I need to be worth $1 million? And that's you need like 333 or whatever, and whatever. And so you do something like that. You do like, so if you think it's going to be you think it's going to be worth one Bitcoin's going to be worth $1 million, well, then you just need one Bitcoin. But how long? When do you think it's going to be $1 million? One Bitcoin. So I mean,
let's get the answers, Adam. When is one Bitcoin going to be worth 1 million?
I don't. That is
a question. You got to answer.
People have to integrate the knowledge that they have. They just can't drool over. When I'm talking and looking at my beautiful hair, or when when Tone Vase is talking, drool at his lovely graphs. You have to incorporate the knowledge into your head here. I mean, this is. Integrate is the correct word. Integration of knowledge, all sorts of knowledge, bring it all together. But I'll say that another thing that I've said is in the year 2036. Now, some people are going to say, Adam, I can't afford this. But I said this before it was unaffordable. In the year 2036, every day, only 57 Bitcoin will be mined every day after 2036 halving, which probably will take place in 2035, but that's another story. But yeah, so if you have 57 Bitcoin, you are like going to be so freaking that's way beyond a millionaire right there. I mean, 57 Bitcoin, you will be elite. But most people are going to be like, Adam, I'm not spending. I don't have. I mean, how much does it cost? They don't have $3 million right now to buy 57, whatever it costs.
Pocket change.
That's understandable. Again, I call it the one Bitcoin show. Definitely get that one Bitcoin at least, and then you start worrying about how much do I need to be a 2 millionaire. Okay, but definitely get that first Bitcoin. I mean, at this point though, we will get to a 6-digit realm. So again,
for sure.
Having 10 Bitcoin, you're going to be in great shape.
Are you kidding? Yeah, 10 Bitcoin. You're going to be, dude, you and your family will be financially independent for so many generations, probably forever, because the return you can earn by, for instance, putting in a Lightning Network, etc. There's interest rate to be had, even non-custodial. You're set for life. But honestly, right now, just getting one Bitcoin is a dream that is just disappearing for most people because of the price, right? Yeah. Who has 50,000 to buy a Bitcoin?
And that's a very good point. And when I named my show the One Bitcoin Show, it was real easy to get one Bitcoin. People laughed at the name and everything. Now it's people are like, I can't get 0.1 Bitcoin. And with the 57 Bitcoin thing, when I was telling people to buy 57 Bitcoin, it wasn't. I mean, it was at a point where like you can get like a $250,000 house or buy yourself 57 Bitcoin, and put a house is an attack vector, as I've said. So when I started this 57 Bitcoin, not that long ago, and I haven't mentioned, it's only been in a few shows that I've talked about it, but you would be much better off buying 57 Bitcoin back then than buying a house in some blue state where you're stuck and you can't even leave your freaking house, type of thing. It ended up being. So, dude, if you have 57 Bitcoin in a few years, you're going to be able to buy yourself multiple houses. I mean, right now you can get yourself multiple houses. What am I talking about? But it was a point when you like. I was giving you could buy a house or you could buy 57 Bitcoin. What are you going to do? And buying the 57 Bitcoin would have been much.
I'm waiting for the first, the 1 million Satoshi show. 1 million Satoshi, and people are going to think, wow, I'll never have 1 million Satoshi, but yeah, that sounds pretty cool. But when you look back over the years, how quickly it just grows over 4 years. And, 4 years ago, amongst my friends, I was the biggest dumbass in the world as they saw me riding Bitcoin from 17, 18, 19,000 down to 3,400. And I'm trying to orange pill people as this thing keeps going lower. Okay. Now, 4 years later, that thing is hitting 60,000. I'm the smartest guy they ever met. Like, oh my God, you're like this financial guru. I said, I've been trying to tell you guys for years, take a long view of this. It has got to be at least 2 halvings if you can't hold for at least 2 halvings, don't even think about, don't even get involved, because you're going to hate yourself. You're going to be price checking. You're going to be dumping. Just don't do it.
I mean, at least 4 years. And most people can't hang on for 4 years. It's unbelievable. But now for me, it's been over 8 years since I bought my first Bitcoin. Someone's calling me here. What is this noise I'm getting? But by the way, someone asked me about coffee or something like that. What kind of coffee do I drink? I have never had coffee.
Because you're energized.
I have never had coffee in my life. I'm just the way I am. So I guess the next question is, what type of cocaine do you? I don't do with drugs. No, it's just, this is who I am. And for the dudes who've met me in person, like these guys, this is not an act. This is real. There are no drugs. I had no coffee in my entire life. I mean, as a 20-something or whatever. When did I do drugs? I smoked pot a few times, and I tried something other things a couple times. I was foolish. So I've actually done drugs. I've actually done drugs. I've done drugs more than I've done coffee.
Adam,
I've never had coffee. Now I used to
drink.
High
on life, though, right?
Yeah,
you are high on life.
High on life, baby.
And let me explain to anyone watching, man. This is Adam, man. We met him for the first time at the conference last year. This is the same energy he brings. And I remember you were sitting in the middle, in the front, right before the first speakers, before the mayor of Miami was going to open. and Adam's there, like, and I mean, you don't have to see him. You just hear the voice. You can just feel the energy. Like, damn, dude. I get to find me, and he's just holding court. People coming up to say hi. This is the real deal, man.
Adam warmed up 2021, the Bitcoin conference. Adam did the entire warm up. He warmed up 12,000 people. It was beautiful, and you wouldn't know what's going on if you weren't there. I mean, we can try and explain it, but as the big conference hall was filling up, and Adam was standing in one of the front rows and just shouting out positive energy, like calling out people names, doing shout outs. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was impromptu there. I found it very interesting. Like, we're all sitting there. There's a lot of people piling into the room. We were in the front, and that it was kind of quiet. It wasn't, you didn't feel it yet. So I tried to do like we're talking about TikTok. CoinBeast was letting me do their TikToks then. Because we were experimenting, trying to get young people into it. And trust me, it wasn't working. It was just getting insane Dogecoin people that were like mindless troll. It was hard. But I tried to it just, the internet connection was bad there. So I just went off. I was just like, come on, people. I was trying to enthuse. And the BTC Betty comes out of the crowd. People were coming out of the crowd. It was fun. It was really fun just starting to, and I saw you guys, it just like, it was a good start. It was a good start to the day.
It was the best start. The best start to the conference was you just going off like a human firework. And everyone was like waking up and like, what's going on with Adam? Where did you get that energy from, bro?
Because I'm vibing off of the people. Like, then all of a sudden, I see these people, that I hadn't seen in person for a while, and I'm legitimately happy to see you guys, to see Benny, and to see the people that were coming up to me, and the people that I didn't even know, beforehand, who were coming up to me. And then I'm like, I'm in freaking Miami. It's all these people are here. You're excited to be alive when you just realize what a special situation it was, and people aren't scared there. It was amazing, and people don't want to follow ridiculous rules there. Do you guys are like, when Peter, what's his face, McCormick got on, he's like, you guys got to clear the aisles. You guys got to follow the rules. And people didn't want to follow the rules. It was awesome. Everyone was quite a few unique beasts there, to say the least.
That's something I bring up all the time. And what when we talk on our spaces, and many people that are new that have come in, rightfully so, 20, 30,000, they go up to 60, but they're new. They don't know what the history was like. I'm all about the Bitcoin history. I love this. But what was interesting down there was I wasn't counting on the shock factor. And I don't know if I would call it a religious experience, but in a way it was a religious experience because of all the people that Usually they're the only one in their family that gets it. The only one in their group of friends, the only one maybe in their city and their town. And when you go from like 0 to all of a sudden you're in Miami and everyone around you is the same mindset, I mean, it's surreal. Like, I'm around people, everyone that gets it. Everyone gets it now. I understand. When you go from, like, you call them the 80%ers, I think you need to revise that to 99%ers. Okay. But when you go from that and you get to hang out with the 1% for a couple days, it's life changing.
Yeah, it is. It shows you that that, hey, there's a lot of freaks out there. There are a lot of unique beasts out there, and this whole world can change. And when these politicians are pandering to you, now the mayor of Miami he's legitimate. He cares. But those 2 women that they had, I don't know if you even saw them. They were saying the most generic stuff I have ever heard. Like, we are building a blockchain community here in Miami-Dade County. But it's just funny. They will say anything when there's that many people there. They're like, this is votes, this is money. I'm going to say anything. So it's funny to see these normies like pandering to you who have no idea what they're talking about. But still, you're not giving in to them. The people, I mean, there were some speakers. Sometimes the crowd would shout out things. There were some toxic. And again, I'm not a toxic person, but I can. Some Bitcoiners, that's their thing. They're going to be toxic, and that was there were all sorts in Miami. It was great. There were Bitcoiners that were scared and were wearing a mask there. There were a few masked people there, but there were other ones. It's only the other side of the spectrum, and that's a great thing about the conference. Also, is that you see people try to make up all these stereotypes about Bitcoiners, and no, it goes from left to the right side of the spectrum. There's all sorts out there. So, and that's another thing. Being in person, it's fun that we're in this metaverse where we get to hang out virtually, and I love technology, but nothing beats, hugging another dude. Or hugging another woman, but again, it was mostly
a Bitcoiner. Hugging another Bitcoiner. I want to add to what you guys are saying because, and I've said that many times, meeting other people in Miami, all like 12,000, mainly Bitcoiners at the Bitcoin 2021 conference. It was meeting other people with aligned values on the same mission of better the situation for humanity and freeing us from central banking slavery that keeps stealing the value of our labor. And isn't that the definition of slavery? That you're basically someone else owns part of your labor, if not all of your labor. And that's what central banking does. It steals value of your labor. At the moment, they're stealing 20% a year. They're expanding the monetary supply and thereby sucking out the value of what we've done. But the question we've all been waiting for, asked by Marty's Owl, Adam, it's on the screen. Are you going to 2022?
Yeah, Marty's Owl should know this, man. He should be paying attention to my shows a little. He's been busy. I've been trying to get him back on the show. Of course, I'm going to be in 2022. They're one of the sponsors of my freaking show, man. If we didn't have them, there'd be no more shows. I got so frustrated doing these shows at a certain point. Well, I don't want to say there'd be no more shows, but they wouldn't be coming every week because of Bitcoin 2022. You've got a show. I'm do a show every week, the Super Spreading Bitcoin 2022 show. I came up with the name because the mainstream media, after the scared mainstream media people that were there, and there were plenty of them there from Bloomberg. I was in the media room with these CUCKs, okay? What do they write about afterwards? They write about that it was a super spreader event, that people are talking about, that the people got to spread the virus. I mean, this is what you get from attending an event like this. And it wasn't a super spreader event. But now we're super spreading the knowledge of Bitcoin 2022. There are going to be 30,000 freaking people there this year. So yes, if you're watching this on my channel, taped, because right now we're live on Andrew's channel. But if you see this tape, you can use the code Adam10 or link to below. There's there's an affiliate code and you get a discount to get to Bitcoin 2022 in Miami, April 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And the main days are the 7th and the 8th. And for those of you who can't go to Miami and are West Coast people, I will be at Tone's event in Las Vegas on the 4th and 5th of March. That's a month beforehand. But there's not going to be 30,000 people at the freaking D hotel. There are going to be 30,000 people in freaking Miami, and Miami is better than Las Vegas any day of the week now. Pound that like button in terms of freedom.
Absolutely, pound the pound button.
So I remember, man, and like I say, I always loved about Adam Meister. He was just pumping out content, daily content. I think, except for Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. I think maybe in the only 2 days he took off.
Just the second day of Rosh Hashanah and the second day of Passover. I wouldn't. Or
Passover, yeah. But every day, man, and it was inspired. Like, look at this guy, man, on his own volition, he's putting out content. So, well, damn, maybe I can do some of that. And anyone that's out there, listen, I don't care if it's through memes, starting your own channel. I think it's really cool. But I remember early on, I asked him a question. This was probably about 3 years ago. And I said, what do you think the most important attribute about Bitcoin is? The most important aspect? I said, is it the hard cap, 21 million supply, or if it's unconfiscatable? And he thought about it. And at the time, it was a hard cap supply. Adam, has your view changed over the last 2 years, watching everything that's going on from a pandemic, CBDCs, everything come down, that being unconfiscatable may truly be the saving grace?
Oh, it's a deep conversation we can have about this, because I mean, I'm thinking about it in my head. I didn't know what my answer was back then, because they're both so important, in terms of helping Bitcoin gain serious institutional investment, that it's never going to change, that it's this boring, reliable financial system. 21 million. It is the most reliable financial setup in the history of mankind, because all the other ones can change. It's the most reliable financial policy in the history of man. That it's not, and that is so valuable when you're talking about long-term institutional investment. You don't want to, if you're a smart institution, you don't want to invest in something that can just change on the dime, or not even that. Like Ethereum rolled back. And that's the amazing thing about the world today. People do not investigate things that deeply. Like, there are some institutions that will invest in both, that don't understand that, Ethereum has changed before, and that Ethereum will change to 2.0. Okay. That is a change. There's nothing like that in Bitcoin. There's nothing like that comparable. So that 21 million thing is incredibly valuable in terms of, it's not changing is important. Okay. And being a stable financial system, the most stable policy of all time is incredible. But unconfiscatable and uncensorable, my Lord, that is really for freedom. That is so important for what we're living in, for the average man that's not going to grasp the importance of a hard cap and inflation and all this, and that they're losing all their money to inflation. So many people out there today are complaining about social media is censoring this, censoring that. I get kicked off. I can't say what I want to say. And those things are all true. But that unconfiscatable, uncensorable aspects of Bitcoin, that you can send it anywhere. And once you send it anywhere, it can't be taken away. It can't be reversed. Yeah, that is probably, for a regular guy, that is more important than the 21 million cap. So there's different ways of looking at it.
I'd love to take a stab at that. And I would say that both things are killer applications of Bitcoin. It can't be confiscated by your federal government or anyone else that wants to do a haircut. and a bail-in, as it's called. And don't think it can't happen, because it already happened in U.S. in 1933, where they did 100% haircut on all your gold, which they took away, just like that. So that but the hard cap is also just such a kill application. It'll be the first money we ever have that will go up in value every year, together with productivity growth in society. So yeah,
well,
you're touching on two very important things, Puppy.
We probably mentioned the CBDC. I believe you central bank digital currencies. So when Fed coin comes, and it seems so convenient, like I don't even need a bank account. I've got a bank account with the Federal Reserve. Look, they give me all sorts of special money, like this money. This freebie, I'm only allowed to use at the supermarket, but it's awesome. I get a supermarket coin from them every week. I get my supermarket coin, so I can, get all sorts of nice food, and I can use it even at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. They accept the supermarket CBDC. But then what people are going to realize is like, but I said something the other week that was interpreted as pro-Russia conservatives, and now I can't eat anymore. And you're going to see, and they took away all my my food CBDC is gone. I used to have a $50,000 worth of it that I was going to use for my whole family, and because I said something that they didn't like, I don't have it anymore. And then you will understand what unconfiscatable and uncensorable really mean at that point. And the truth.
Oh, that's another thing. Well, there's another thing. You said uncensorable. That's another kill application, that governments can't go and censor your transactions if you want to support something like WikiLeaks that is exposing, that is really just journalism exposing government lies and war crimes. And for that, unfortunately, Julian Assange is paying the ultimate price of being held in prison for how many years now and without a trial?
Over 8 years now, man. Over 8 years.
Yeah.
And what is
gone gray hair, full gray hair, unfortunately.
This is what's so beautiful about Bitcoin, is each year seems to be a different aspect of it, which applies the most. Okay, a few years ago it was the hard cap. As people realize that they get their bank account shut down if they don't toe the company line, they realize, oh, now I got something that's unconfiscatable, censorship resistant. It does it all, man. And to be honest with you, what kind of premium? I don't mind paying a premium. I mean, hell, inflation rate, let's be honest, even if you go by the 6.8% inflation rate they tell you, when we all know it's above 10, what kind of premium would you pay just to have value, your stored labor value, outside of the system? I would take a hit on that. Bitcoin, don't get me wrong. Look over the years, a 200% annualized return is one thing, but Bitcoin in and of itself, it's value outside the system, man. And I'd rather take a 5% hit, even if it was losing money each year. It's something that I have that I can be more free with.
So what we've learned today is that Poppy will take a hit at it, and Adam finds BritFit attractive, but will not give his private seat to her.
No.
So we're learning. But Adam, let us know, what are you doing today? I mean, you're still doing your show. How regularly are you doing? Is it something about you want like some donations, so you get something for your time before you start a show? Well, how are you doing it today, and where are you in the world, and what's your focus? What's your life like?
Very good question, because I sent a subliminal message to the chat. I sent 2131. That's all I typed. And I typed that in when Pubby was talking about how I used to do a show every day. And I don't. Does anyone catch what 2131 means? 2131
all your
was
shows. All the shows you've done.
No, it's getting up there. I've almost done 2131 shows. But that's, if you're from Baltimore, you'll know what 2131 is. Lou Gehrig's streak of consecutive games played in baseball was 2130. And in 1995, Cal Ripken of the Baltimore Orioles surpassed that with his 2,131st game. So, growing up and hearing about this Cal Ripken, I am a huge Orioles fan. And in Baltimore, like that was part of sportsmanship, was like, you do it every day. He does it every day. You do it every day. So that got ingrained into my head, do it every day. And so for me, the show became a streak. I had to do it every day. And it was, and so from like some point in 2016 to basically in 2020, I was doing it every day except those 2 Jewish holidays for various reasons. And then, but I started realizing I was only doing it for the sake of the streak, because YouTube did not make it easier over time. YouTube, is part of Google, which is the most sophisticated technology company on earth. I mean, they got the best technology, but they made it worse. For regular people, they made it harder. They made it much more annoying with the censorship, et cetera. And they're a private company; they can do what they want to do. But if you're not going to follow their algorithm, if you're not going to do the fancy sets and graphics, you're not going to grow. And you're not, it can be very frustrating. And I mean, I can tell everybody the formula of growing on YouTube. Figure out what is popular in the bigger space. So what is popular in the bigger space in our space? It's altcoins. It's whatever. It's NFTs. It's having a hot girl as a sidekick, or just having fancy sets of great. This is what works for the 80%ers. And YouTube has definitely become, well, the cryptocurrency aspect of YouTube has become so much more mindless than 80%er. It can be frustrating. It can really, being asked the same questions about Litecoin over and over again, when I clearly, state, don't buy Litecoin. What else do I have to say? It's something that, and there's so much more to do in life than do these shows for the sake of doing the shows. So I was, things happen in my life that, personal stuff happens. In 2020,
I can attest to that.
2020, my grandmother passed away, and that was right then. I was just like, well, first of all, for her funeral and everything, I couldn't do the show then. But it was at that point I really started cutting down, making a point to just enjoying real life a little bit more. And so right now, it came to a point where people pay me for advice. I do consulting. I've always done that, and I find that very rewarding. And I just decided, what, for some of these dudes that have channels that talk about other financial matters, a guy who I respect a lot named Yaron Brook, he for years has been unable to understand Bitcoin, has kind of almost talked it down at times, but each one of his shows he does, he raises at least $400 from the CUCKs. Now, he gives useful information, but this dude is giving backwards information about Bitcoin. So I thought to myself, I'm giving the best type of Bitcoin information out there. Buy and hold. If I'm going to do a show, I want to raise $100 beforehand, and then I'll do my next show. So the rule is, if I'm going to do a new one Bitcoin show, I've got to raise $100 before I do it. But the Super Spreading Bitcoin 2022 show, at least until April when we have the event, I'm doing one of those every week. So I'm doing one, basically, This Week in Bitcoin every week, where I have guests, and then whatever else I do, if I raise $100, I do a one Bitcoin show. And if I feel like doing another show, I'll do it on my backup channel, and I'll do maybe I'll do a shorter show every once in a while. And if people want to interview me on their show, I will go on their show and then put their show on my channel eventually, which is what I'm doing with you guys right now, because it is such a pain in the tuchlis, as you guys know, to arrange these shows, especially with guests flaking out and all this. It can be so hard. And I want to enjoy real life. As I've said before, I love going to real events. I love running. I'm in Bowling Green, Kentucky right now. I bought a car just to drive across the country because I didn't have a car since 2014. I didn't need a car. I didn't want a car. But I decided.
Hashtag me too. I'm on that boat. Go ahead.
I got to jump in real quick on a car story for Adam. I remember this.
Bring him up to speed.
Early 2018, Anders living in the most unwalkable city in the world, called Los Angeles. Most unwalkable city in the world. Pubby, man, look, I need a car. I need a car. I may have to sell some Bitcoin for it though, because he's all in. He's all in on Bitcoin, obviously. And I'm like, all right, man. Yeah, I know you need a car. Do what you got to do. He held off. And because he had one that was going to cost him, I think it was going to be like a $5,000 car. Okay, 6,000. Basically, it was going to cost him a whole coin. He held off, and now he can buy that $60,000, $50,000 automobile. But he held off. Strong hand, baby. He did not buy the car.
Yeah,
I mean,
still I have a.
That's one of my most famous. If you go to my Twitter feed, TechBalt, TechBalt, my pinned tweet is from 2014, a video of mine from the day right around when the Orioles clinched the American League East, actually. So it was around September the 16th of 2014. And because I was at the game they clinched. Yeah, I was saying, don't buy a $100,000 car, get or whatever, get a cheap car and spend $20,000 on Bitcoin. And well, first of all, if you did that, you'd be a millionaire right now. So it's just be careful. And I know dudes who bought Teslas with Bitcoin, and they should have held off. And with me, I needed a car. I bought it with cash, by the way, people. It didn't cost me very much. It's not going to be my main car. One day I'm going to get a nice luxury car. Okay. I've done very well with the Bitcoin. I'm going to get a real nice car one day, but this is not my real nice car. This one I'll give to my nieces. And they enjoy, they're 11 years old now. So they were like, I was like, this is going to be yours one day. So, 11-year-old is very impressed with the freaking, what do I have? I don't even know the Nissan, a Nissan Versa. I got a Nissan Versa, which is basically a car. If there was if in the dictionary, if they showed car, it would look like it would be a Nissan Versa, but it serves me real well. So I first stop was in West Virginia. I spent, I was in, what was the name of the darn city in West Virginia? Huntington, West Virginia. And I want to see, because people, the mainstream media makes it seem like flyover country is filled with a bunch of mean racist blue staters or red staters, whatever they call these darn people. And I'm here to show you there's nothing to fear. And when I was in Huntington, West Virginia, you go to I made a little 10-minute video that's actually on my backup channel, but it's linked to, I've tweeted it out. And, people say, you think of West Virginia, you think of, and Huntington is losing population, by the way, too. It's a beautiful city. I found it fine, safer than Baltimore. It could be the next Asheville, North Carolina. It's not a bunch of racist people trying to kill trying to hurt people and do bad things to minorities. I found a house that had an Israeli flag in front of it. I videotaped myself in front of, you never know. There's a synagogue there. People weren't, there wasn't like the KKK burning crosses. And then I moved on to Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I am now. And there was a tornado the 5th day I was here, out of the blue. The things you experience on the ground here in these cities, but these places are beautiful. Yeah. People are living their lives. You don't be scared of Kentucky or West Virginia. They're very nice places to live. They're very affordable places to live.
I lived in West Virginia for 2 years when I was a kid, down in Beckley. Oh, yeah, the transition. Down in Beckley, West Virginia. And yeah, lovely people. Questions and people, hey, comment. And we know what's going to happen, man. Your dream car, man. You got to tell the story. The 1974 Pontiac Firebird is pretty, man.
Well, it's a 1978. I prefer that, and that's from the Rockford font from Rockford. That's what a gold.
Jim Rockford.
Oh. Yeah.
Gold color Firebird.
Yeah, 1978 gold one. I won the 1978 version. Now, what would I do? This is a very interesting situation because it's dedicated to my father. My father loved that show. He loved the Rockford show, apparently, when it was live in the 70s. I wasn't around, but he was around when my mom. But then the repeats used to be on UHF stations, and my dad would just be in Rockford. I could hear him saying Rockford. Rockford. And I was like, what the heck is this Rockford repeats that are on channel 54 or whatever? People in Baltimore will know what I'm talking about. Like it was on like at 10 o'clock in the 1990s on channel 54, a repeat, or maybe at 12 o'clock. But I didn't really research it until much later. And Rockford, and my dad also liked who plays Rockford. The actor that played him was on a similar
James
show.
Garner.
Yeah, in the 60s. And he was a pretty cool dude. I mean, he liked cars, and he drove in the Rockford show. He would, from 1974 to 1980, I think it was on, he would drive a different Firebird every year, a different gold one, they would give him a new one, a 74 through 78. And then he only, in 79 and 80, he only used the 78 one. And that's the best looking one, in my opinion, and the easiest one to come by because it's the most recent one. It's harder to find a 74. So I did research. You and I were DMing about this like in 2020 at the beginning of this virus nonsense. And to tell you the truth, since it started, we've had all these dislocations and everything. Used cars are so much more money, probably including those ones. So you could have got a cheap, like probably for less than $20,000, a 1978 gold one. Now, I don't know what the condition would have been, but the only reason I would have bought it was just to freaking park it at my mother's house and just to look at it every time I came back at it and said, yeah, Dad would have liked that, and I would have driven around the neighborhood because there's no way you could drive. A 1978 Firebird would not have been very reliable driving it across the country, driving for anything. So now, in order for me to get that car, I haven't even looked what it would cost. It probably cost over $30,000 now, and you know, in the long term, that's not that much. I mean, for a dude who's done well in Bitcoin. People don't believe me that I've done well in Bitcoin when I say things like that, and let them believe that. But so I still want that one day, but it just frustrates me that it was like 19,000, and probably by the time I actually get one, it'll be 50,000, and I don't know. But it's cool that I'm going to maybe get one of those one day, and I just sort of wish I would have done it earlier, but no regrets, dudes. No regrets. I can still get one. I will hopefully get one if I'm still inspired by it at that point. I got weird psychology in my head where I want to win financially. Like I think I'm getting screwed because I'm not going to get it for 17,000. It's something I got to work out.
Your Bitcoin goes up faster than the price of a Firebird. Don't worry about it.
And
look
that's
at
the
don't use dollar as the denomination, right? There you go.
Yes, value your wealth in Bitcoin, but I still, you're still sticking to. What's the shirt say? What's it say?
Friends don't let friends sell Bitcoin.
There you go. So that's what I wanted to show everybody. These guys I got this out at Miami at the Bitcoin conference where I was hanging out with you guys. Their guys have been on my show before. Phil is a real good dude.
Parker Lewis.
I think the reason we didn't see Adam Puppy after that first warm up of the entire conference that he performed standing from his seat on the 10th row is probably because we were hanging out in that bar, and I don't think Adam goes to the bar that much.
You saw me at the bar. Both of you guys were drunk, and you remember seeing me.
Yes, of course.
We were hanging. Your guys' faces were so red, partially because of the heat. Maybe you weren't drunk, but I assume some of that was
sun. It's Miami, summer. Summer.
You guys were happy. A few times we ran into each other outside underneath the tent. It was so hot. And you guys always had a drink in your hand too. You guys were living it.
Cool
It was fine. You got to do what you got to do, man. You guys are party freaking animals. But you're right. I don't like the extreme heat. I don't drink. So what I did a few times, I would station myself in the big in the area where all these dudes were the sponsors were, and I would just stand on a corner and people would come up to me. I could just stand there and random dudes would come up to me and know who I was, and it was really flattering. It was really awesome, and we would get into all sorts of discussions, and people would give me free T-shirts like these these dudes. I came away with a lot of new T-shirts there. But it was fun. It was a great networking experience, and just so flattering to this very day to be recognized is really it's a cool feeling. It's really cool. And to meet dudes that you've only seen in the chat. Like all these guys are in the chat right now. Like this Benjamin Imhoff guy. I've seen this guy's name for quite a few years. The moment I meet this dude in person, I will be so freaking happy. I mean, it takes it to another level. It takes it to a whole other level.
It really does. And that was part of what we loved about Miami as well. I mean, both Poppy and I actually meeting for the first time, but also, the many people watching Toxic Happy Hour, and we do a lot of Twitter spaces now. Poppy really is a driving force there, and I'm slowly getting it. But all these people that we talk with or that hang out in the chat and watch the show, finally get to meet them and put a real face, a real person on some avatar. It's and some Anon account. It's super cool meeting everyone. It really is. That's the energy, man. That's where you get the energy.
Did you guys get to meet Gigi at the conference?
So, all right, here we go.
Here we go.
Poppy,
you know it best. Oh, you tell it best.
Yeah. So, well, as you can see, no fancy sets and graphics here for one. All right. So,
question though, is our logo fancy? Is that it's a graphic, right? I don't know, man. If we can't virtue signal anymore, we've got a logo anyway. Back to you.
No, that's sort of fancy. What was interesting, and this goes back, man. I'm going to name drop some people, not because I'm impressed that we met them, but I'm impressed that how they pay it forward. Okay, they pay it forward. When you're just look, you don't even have 300 followers, 400 followers. You're say, you know what? I want to start this podcast, and even though you've been interactive on Twitter, you send out a DM, and like American Hodl not came on the show. Everyone that you send it says yes. Okay. Everyone that you send something to, they say, yeah, sure, I'll come talk about Bitcoin. Back at that time, man, aside from Adam, there wasn't a lot of Bitcoin only type shows or channels. So what I found is when we look forward into what we're doing, yes, some people, you need to make some money off of it, but I want to pay it forward most of all.
Yeah, go ahead, Poppy. Did we lose you or what? Did we lose you?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, you're there, Poppy. You're there. Keep going. People are
paying forward. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You with us,
again.
Poppy?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
with us? Are you doing a breed love?
No, it backed off. What was the question again?
You were telling us about people, like we got to meet all these, like Adam asked if we met Gigi. Did we meet Gigi?
Yeah, the people that pay it forward, Gigi's one of them. So we show up in Miami, and I meet Anders for the first time, lobby of the hotel. We'll be staying at the same hotel, and I don't even get to check in. I don't even get to check in. We're sitting there. But every time you're sitting there talking, there's another Bitcoiner coming in. Another Bitcoiner comes to the conference. All of a sudden, get a tap on the shoulder, and someone says, "Hey, Puppy, what's going on?" I don't recognize this guy from Adam, so to speak. I said, "Yeah, what's going on, man?" He goes, "Hey, dude, it's me, Gigi." So the Anon account came. He came over and said hello. Nicest guy in the world, so brilliant. Hung out all weekend. But those are the kind of people you meet.
That was an extreme, though. I mean, like, I was not expecting to meet that because he's anonymous. You don't know what he looks like. So I was just outside at the event. This guy taps you on the shoulder, and he's a taller guy than me, and he's closer to Anders' height, I believe. And he's like, "I'm Gigi." I'm like, "Oh my God, you're not supposed to be like, show your face." Whoa, that was very memorable. So he's a very nice guy. he knows who to trust. I'll tell you that. He knows who to introduce himself to. And very, very interesting dude. Very, very cool that you can run into a dude like that in person. I would, since this is, you try to keep it real here and, go a little bit beyond Bitcoin. I want to go back to the car thing. And just people have asked me about luxury cars before. And as a kid, I was more into cars as a kid. Like I wanted a Wrangler. I thought that was so cool, a Wrangler. And then as I became like more and more of a Bitcoiner and like, I didn't want fancy things anymore, even though I was becoming wealthier. I was just like, I did want to get my dad a Tesla. I thought that would have been cool. But for me, I was just like, I never really thought like, I'm going to have to get a luxury car one day. It'll be cool because I didn't want a luxury car. But in the last year, I've decided, you know what? I would like a nice car one day. Just besides having the 1978 Firebird just to look at, and besides having the car just to use to drive across the country, I'd like a nice car. And so when I was in Dallas, Texas has a lot of luxury car dealerships, more than Baltimore. Definitely, like where I was staying in Dallas, there's a Maserati, there was Aston Martin. So I like those. Dude, Aston Martin and Maserati got some nice cars, man.
So what are you going to get at him?
I don't know. That's why I'm bringing this up. Maybe I get them. They look really cool. Like there's the sporty looking Aston Martin and Maserati. Like I don't want to get a Lamborghini because that's just too typical. I am a unique beast and they are the best. And I just can't think of like spending $300,000 on or whatever it is. There's one there's some Ferrari that's even faster. And I think that one looks better than that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to, but I want to get, I don't want it to be an SUV. I want it to be like a sports car. I like a smaller car. Unfortunately, I'm still so insane. I want the gas mileage to not be as bad as like the worst of them. So thus a smaller car would get a better gas mileage.
Well, then you got to get the Tesla Roadster that is coming out.
No, I don't want an electric car either.
We can't do Elon Musk anymore, though. Unfortunately,
you can see my idea.
Maybe someone can but ask them. These were cars I had not done much research into, so I started doing a little bit of investigation. Yeah, since I'm from Maryland and I still have it's easier to buy a car in Maryland, and because it's more instant. It's just all this bureaucracy. So in around the DC area, there's a Maserati dealer, and if I wanted a Maserati. So I don't know when that will. Well, it will again. I'm not spending any of my Bitcoin until after the 2024 halving. So this is a 2024 type of thing. You mentioned beforehand how I used to say 2020 halving. The second the 2016 halving was done, and it seems so surreal. And now we're past it. Well, for me, I started saying 2024 halving, same time, right after the 2020 halving. It's not too surreal now, guys. Like 2024 halving is going to be in probably March or April of 2020. So we're about 2 years away now, almost.
We're almost halfway. It's
surreal. It's great. It's great, and I do. It's we could talk about we're rolling on here. This is for another. It might be different now. The cycle. I would love if it's different this time. The cycle. The last two cycles have been very similar, though. Huge,
but it's already different. But it's already different, isn't it?
Well, not if it goes up to $100,000 tomorrow. It's not different. So I mean, you don't. Not until. Not
2022 is going to be off the hook price wise. We're just making sure all weak hands are currently shaken out, and then we can then it's reset and we're off to the races next year. Puppy, what do you think? You were saying something.
Yeah, no. What I was trying. Well, Adam wanted to check out what I really enjoy. The Audi R8 for performance versus the price. Audi R8, maybe right in your wheelhouse.
You see, the other thing is like Audi, they advertise on TV. That's a level below a Maserati. Like in terms of uniqueness, who's got a Maserati and these and Ferrari? those are above an Audi. An Audi it's common, but still, what's it called? Out. If I'm going to get a luxury car, it's going to be pretty darn low. What's it called? Audi what?
R8.
Yeah.
R.
Puppy likes it. It's a cool car, man. It's a Lamborghini, but in Audi clothing. Audi
It's like how the Corvette tries to copy a Lamborghini. It's got some similarity. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Dude, Puppy, he's not liking your dream car, man.
No.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying price for performance. You can't. An R8 is just up there with them. And I know you say it's common. Not a lot of my friends have an R8.
The name Audi is you're absolutely right. It itself is uncommon, but Audi, the brand, I want a brand that is uncommon.
So hey, here's the thing. A friend of mine here in LA, he has an Alfa Romeo. Now that's a bigger car in Europe, but that's a rarity here. He's got an Alfa Romeo SUV. But it drives like a sports car.
Wait. Did you say Alfa Romeo SUV?
Yeah, no, I know, man. I know it's a sin. I know.
Alfa Romeo. It's an Alfa Romeo. There's two seats.
Yeah.
There's one for you, and there's one for the girl that you could never pick up until she saw you had an Alfa Romeo.
Right. Okay.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of an Alfa Romeo.
Right. Okay.
Someone wants me to get a classic Aston Martin. That's like the movie. Didn't he drive it in that movie?
James Bond, man. Yeah, one of the original. The Aston Martin from the 60s. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. James Bond drives an Aston Martin, but does Austin Powers drive one too? I was thinking about Austin Powers. Does he?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Aston Martin does have. That is a good point. That it was James Bond car was an Aston Martin, so that is that's something that's cool. I mean, I'm like thinking like I'm trying to think when I'm thinking about cars, I'm almost thinking like what would be the logic that my dad would use to buy a luxury car? It would be based on something like that. Like it was James Bond's car.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the Court Bitcoin has it right. No, wait. Sorry. Sometimes I hit a chat. Chat moves exactly before I click. I think DTZV has it right. Aston Powers drove a classic Mini. So me personally, I love a Mercedes AMG convertible, like a C-Class 63S convertible. That would be nice, but I don't have a car because I talk a bit game, but I never touch. I mean, I don't want to spend money when I can buy Bitcoin.
I got the BMW Mini. Most people don't know, man, the sacrilege. Mini being bought out by BMW. Yeah, a 2005 car, 17 years old. I stack sats with the rest, man. I just baby that thing. But I got my Mini Cooper. Love it. I park anywhere I want, whenever I want.
That is the smaller car thing to be able to fit into the parallel parking. That's a bonus right there. It's just it's so funny talking about luxury cars. I'm still not. I'm just not that knowledgeable in it, as everyone can tell.
I think this is. I just want to say real quick, Adam. Sorry to interrupt you, but it seemed because none of us have spoken about car really too much before, but this is the phase that Bitcoiners go through like 10 years before they actually get the nice car. They start talking about their dreams, but we're not getting it for another 10 years. Sorry, Adam, back to you.
It's not a true dream of mine. It's not a true value of mine, but I think it's something that would be cool. At least I've gotten into that perspective. They're like, yeah, it would be cool to have an awesome car. So all the people who watch my show, who watch your shows and everything, I am up for all your suggestions and your and the crazy logic behind them. I know that's anyway, crazy logic. I know it doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean, people. So I'm up for it. Try to intrigue me. But I want it to be a new. If I'm going to buy a luxury car, I want it to be new. I want it to be we're about to enter 2022, so I want it to be at least a 2022 model. I don't want to get an older one. Again, the older car that I want is the Rockford Gold Firebird, and that is just going to be like to drive a few times in my life and just to look at at my mom's house, and for people to look at, to type of thing. But for my main car one day will be a luxury car, and so let's think about that, people. Let's think about what that car will be. And right now, Maserati, Aston Martin jump into my head, and Porsche too, and stuff. And that there are other luxury European car brands that I forget about. Like I need to be reminded about. Oh, what's that really? It sounds like someone's last name. I don't know if it's even European. They had one of those in Dallas too. That dealership. What's it called? It's just it's a last name. What is that? It sounds like a last name to me.
Well, you're talking about a European car.
It might not be European even. It might be. It's a very rare car.
Describe the car. What kind of car?
I can't think of it. I can only think about it that they were selling them on Lime Avenue or Lemon Avenue in Dallas near the Maserati dealership. They also had
a Fisker, a Jensen Interceptor.
Someone will
Pagani,
think of it.
I'm not sure if it's European.
There's someone in the
Citron. That's all it said.
Oh,
Citron.
That's the French. That's the French special
Peugeot.
design,
Peugeot. I had a guy in my high school who had a Peugeot. His dad imported it somehow. Maybe someone in the I don't know what it's called. God.
Describe what kind of cars they made.
No, I know. It was a sports car. It was a special. They're very, very rare. It's a very rare sports car.
There's a Swedish one with insane amount of horsepower. What's that called?
Hang on a second. Lemon Avenue Maserati dealer.
The only Swedish one I knew was Saab. If you guys remember Saab.
I love Saab. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore. I love Saab.
Yeah.
A friend of mine has a 30-year-old Saab with where the back, the back of the 900 is like flat all the way from the roof to the bumper. Cool
is that Knut? Knut Svanholm?
No, it's a Danish guy.
Well, okay. You know another one. Now this isn't the one I was thinking of, but driving a Bentley. Bentley's got some interesting looking cars too. But that wasn't the name that I was thinking of. But hang on. Bentley.
Koenigsegg. Is it Koenigsegg? That's the Swedish car I remember now. Koenigsegg.
No. Okay, there's Maserati of Dallas. Hang on. Let me think. I'm going to see what else they sell in Maserati of Dallas.
Listen, if you can't afford to have a driver with your new car, are you really Bitcoin rich? You better have a driver.
No, he's got to have money for his G6 as well.
Okay, McLaren.
Oh, the McLaren. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like a really, isn't that a supercar or something like that?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one Peter McCormick got?
Huh? Yeah.
I think that's what Peter McCormick got.
No, that was a Jaguar, I heard.
No, the McLaren.
I wouldn't mind having a Jaguar either, but that would be more like having an Audi. Like Jaguars are pretty common, like having an Audi.
It was an Aston Martin puppy, but the joke was, the meme was, everyone's like, oh yeah, you got a Jaguar, because it's not as cool as the Aston Martin. I'm pretty sure it was a Aston Martin.
Oh, yeah, Count Bitcoin throwing up there the Maybach. If you get the Maybach, that's an A. Thinking that, Adam.
Well, what's a Maybach?
Google that. Maybach.
It's the Rolls Royce of Mercedes.
It's a Mercedes?
It's like the Rolls. It was an old brand, like a century ago, something that Mercedes bought them, and they made some of them, and it was like, the level of Bentley and Rolls Royce, and they stopped producing them, and I guess they were building tanks instead. And then they instead of that, they so they revived it back in 2003, 4, 5 or something. But
I see it.
It never got back to the level of the British blue blood Rolls Royce and Bentley.
Look, if Adam Meister is going to roll across the country from Airbnb to Airbnb, he better do it in style, and he better be able to sit in the back as somebody drives him around, because he should be doing live podcasts from his back seat.
I do want to say again, when I do get the luxury vehicle, I will not be driving it across the United States, because it will get jacked. Someone will do something to it. In some of these cities, they have no respect at all. Like, they'll key it or something. Or you'll just be a target. I love driving this freaking this Nissan Versa. No one would say, oh, there's a Bitcoin guy in that car. It just blends right in. But dude, if I was driving a freaking McLaren across the country, I mean, even driving a Jaguar, you're gonna get some problems in some places. But this is for future concerns. But I do appreciate everybody giving their opinions on the cars. Keep on. You guys are educating me, and I just know one day. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. Just one day, one of these cars, it's just going to speak to me, and I'll know at that moment, like, that's the one I want. That is my one. It hasn't come to me yet. Like, I'm fascinated by walking around the Maserati dealership and seeing the Rolls Royces that were also there and the Bentleys that were also there. It was like, I'm learning, but like, none of them have said like, that's the one to me. None of it hasn't triggered in my head yet, but it will happen. It will happen. And if it takes till 2024 for me to figure it out, then fine. But keep on throwing out the names, people, and just I appreciate the suggestions. And hopefully all you guys who are watching will one day be able to do the same thing, and it'll be fun. So actually, I got to get out of here pretty soon, dude. So like, how do we conclude this show?
Usually I just rug pull. I usually just end it quickly, and people.
Oh, you don't like have like a traditional ending where you say
yeah,
like,
I do the ending. Yeah. We have different roles in podcasting. Puppy, he does the rug pull. All of a sudden, he either falls asleep or disappears, or closes the laptop, or just like gone, goes to the toilet and never comes back. Or and that's his role, and my role is I do an outro. But we've got Adam Meister here. We could hear Adam Meister's outro, and then I'll throw our in the end. How about that? Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks, Adam, for coming on. We love you. We appreciate your role in our story. You're the reason that we met each other, Puppy and I, and you helped save Puppy from shitcoining. Friends don't let friends sell Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Puppy. Yeah.
Reminded.
So Puppy, do you want to say some final words? Like, do you want to spin up maybe a Spaces after this? I don't know how much time I have, but we can always do a little bit of Spaces in here.
I don't know how long I can go on a Spaces, but if you want to spin one up, I can jump in.
I don't have a long time. I got stuff I got to do. So but why don't you, Puppy, throw your final words, and then we'll give it to Meister. And
yeah. Listen, man. Hey, just be quiet, dude. Just be quiet.
Thank you.
Listen, man. Adam Meister was on my early heroes here in Bitcoin. The one that told me to keep that strong hand. I've done that, and I'm better for it. Adam, thanks for swinging by. Because I tell you what, man, everything you have called out over the last 4 years about the world economy, about the world in general, 80%ers, that are around 90%ers, the sheep in the world, they will all have to come to Bitcoin eventually. But thank you for your service. You, again, no fancy sets of graphics. The dude just pumped out content. And that's something that inspired me to do what? I didn't say it's great content, but we pump out content, man. You get out there, you put your views out there. Pleb sharpens pleb, as it is. Plebe sharpens plebe. Ideas need to sharpen each other. So thanks, Adam.
That was very nice of you, and I'm glad I get to meet. I met both of you in person, Anders, numerous times now, and hopefully numerous times for you, Puppy, in the future. All of us be hanging out. And I want to. You mentioned my comments about economic overall of the world, the things that I pointed out. One thing that I got out there now because I told everybody that happyflation was coming, that they would try to say that inflation was a positive thing, which the mainstream media is trying to do. But I tweet, everybody follow me on Twitter, TECHBALT, And what my latest tweet that Puppy retweeted, I want all of you to retweet, the #1 2021 rule of demagogues to get the 80%er mob into a scared, compliant panic is to call whatever they don't like a threat to democracy. So you might notice that they're calling Joe Manchin a threat to democracy now. So the new FUD coming very soon from the usual suspects, be ready for this, people, is Bitcoin is a threat to democracy. Bring it on, I say. This is where the big boys play, strong hand. So guys, get ready. They're going to say Bitcoin is a threat to democracy. And by the way, in a sense, Bitcoin is a threat to mob rule democracy, because mob rule democracy is horrifying. That is horrifying, where the mob can vote to enslave the rest of the people. That is not what we have in the United States of America. It's the constitutional republic. But all the demagogues in our freaking country try to, everything they don't like, they try to say is a threat to what they call democracy, which they might think is what we have in the United States of America. So don't worry. Soon enough, they'll be saying Bitcoin is a threat to democracy. Elizabeth Warren, if you're watching this, this will be a good way to round up all your mindless followers. If you say Bitcoin is a threat to democracy, you'll get more of these CUCKs that give you money, and maybe you'll be able to be president one day or something or whatever. You're so sociopathic, you'll probably take my advice. But yeah, be ready, people. Bitcoin is a threat to democracy. Get ready for that FUD in 2022, baby.
Andrew, just before you go, let me just say, talking here, the three of us, we probably hit about 2% of what we could have talked about today. Adam, we got to let's get a Friday show together.
I thought about doing a Jerry Lewis 48-hour telethon. That's the only way to cover all subjects, is to do like it.
But let's keep it going. No, we'll keep it going, man, because I'm thinking back over the last couple of years. I had this little list of questions I was going to ask you. Dude, I got like 5,000 that weren't even talked about, but we'll get there. But then not.
Adam's got to go now, though.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Yep.
I've got so many ideas written down on little pieces of paper. I will never be able to do all my ideas. It's unbelievable. It is. I love this. This is awesome. This is the golden age, people. I keep on innovating, and just be in motion. I will never have enough time. But that is never. If people say they're bored, I don't understand how anyone can be bored. I am never bored. I just have. I'm always doing something. But yeah, I'm running out of time on this thing.
Yep.
So thanks.
Yeah, I know.
Puppy, I know you want to keep talking, Puppy, but I got to do the outro.
Just
go ahead.
One last thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Has there been any background from three guests and hosts that have less on it, man? No fancy sets or graphics here in honor of Adam. Anders, sign off, baby.
All right. Love both of you. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, the outro really is just a word of warning. Don't store more value in dirty fiat currency than you can afford to lose, because it's a built-in policy. And they've even convinced most of you, maybe not you guys, but your families and friends that are still normies, that it's good for them that their money loses value, that inflation is good. They're just stealing your time. They're stealing the value of your labor. So that's why we Bitcoin, because we like to have our value stored in something that is not being diluted by government and privately owned central banks. They're evil. They know what they're doing. Bitcoin is our answer and our freedom. So on that note, thank you very much, Adam, Poppy, viewers. We love you.
Ciao, Bella.
See ya. Pound that like button.